Now, I want to make this video. I've rode my bike for about thousands and thousands of miles. So I take it to the motorcycle shop to get the valves adjusted, right? Maintenance. Got the valves adjusted. Now, mind you, I had no problem with the bike whatsoever. About 2 weeks after I came from the bike shop, I started smelling oil. I was getting little leaks down here. So I was like, what's going on? So I take it to the bike shop. I tell them I'm having another problem. I'm having like some type of oil leak or smelling oil after I take a ride. So they put the bike on the lift, they look it up, and they tell me, oh, your gasket is shot. You need a brand new gasket. These gaskets go bad after a couple of years of riding, right? I put like, I don't know, close to 20,000 miles on it. All right. He told me it's going to be a couple of $100 and I have to wait a couple of weeks. And I was like, well, I never had a problem until I brought the bike to your shop. So I decided to take the whole thing apart. I cleaned it up really well. I took it for a ride to see where the oil leak was coming from. So I've noticed that the oil leak was coming from here. Right? Everything else is clean, dry. So the oil would leak from here, come down through here, and hit my muffler. Then when I started to start smelling bad after a long ride. So I got my tools and I started twerking everything. Come to find out, this was loose, 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 this was loose. They were all loose. So what that tells me, this bike shop loosened up all those bolts so I can come back. Now, I'm not going to mention the bike shop. I wish I could. So I tightened them all up to spec, right? I went for a ride. Guess what? No more leaks. Nothing at all. Meanwhile, they wanted to charge me like $400 for the labor and for the gasket because they told me it was bad. So when you take your bike to the bike shop, whatever you get done to it, and you get home, take it all apart, take the fairings off if you have fairings, and check all your bolts. Make sure they're tight, or before you go to the bike shop, make sure all your bolts are tight. And that's what I've done. I've done that with a couple of things. I have marked small little markers, exactly where the bolts are, and I've noticed that when I got home, the lines that I wrote were not matching up. So that tells me that they were working on things that I never told them to touch. Just FYI, when you go to the bike shop, take it home, inspect it, and don't take it back to that bike shop if you find any discrepancies, because this thing is completely clean, no drama, no issues, and I just saved myself $400 by retightening up all those bolts that I never had problems with in the beginning.